The first stereotype is that black goalkeepers are terrible. Throughout history, black people are known to be capable of anything. From being athletes, to great actors, to freedom fighters, to whatever this guy is. The black race is known to overcome anything that is put before them. 100 black guys could literally fight a silverback gorilla. But put any of them in goal and hell breaks loose. They will show all the confidence of a 10-year-old approaching a baddie. Being a goalkeeper has somehow proved impossible for the whole of the black race. This is actually sad because I don't understand how. I mean, one black guy could literally fight 100 gorillas. But you're telling me that somehow we can't hack it in that goalkeeping position. In the last AFCON, Ghana were playing Mozambique in their last group stage match. Ghana needed a win to qualify for the knockout stages. In the 94th minute, they are leading 2-1 and their goalkeeper decides to do this. Like, bro, what are you even doing, man? You had one job. Just watch the ball as it goes out of play. But no, he decided to pull one of the most amateur moves a goalkeeper could ever do. Someone like Onana can barely catch a cold, let alone catching all the weak shots that are thrown at him. The only black decent goalkeeper I can think of is Mike McNair, and he has spent more time in the treatment room than he has spent playing. So let me get this straight. In the thousands and thousands of years of niggerhood, we only have one decent goalkeeper. Oh hell no, bro. What the fuck, man? This clip alone proves why black goalkeepers are terrible.
Let's calm down with some goalkeeper highlights, but this is not allowed, bro. This man is covering the entire goal. How are they ever gonna score? This is impossible. The ref gotta stop the game.
I rest my case. The other stereotype is that South Americans play dirty, and especially midfielders and defenders. South Americans are the most talented players on earth, and if you don't think so, then when you have a South American player on your team, you just know that they'll have the technicality and the flair. Unless it's Martinelli, but don't worry, Martinelli is Puerto Rican. South Americans will be your best player on the pitch, but don't let that technical ability and flair fool you. When it's time to play dirty, they'll play dirty and you'll not like it. These players will disrupt opposing fans, start unnecessary fights, bite people, make dangerous tackles, collect routine yellow cards, and fake injuries. Anything for their team to win. I admire the passion, but come on, guys. You guys are already better off than everyone else in terms of footballing ability. Luis Suarez was at it against Ghana in the 2010 World Cup. Ghana got a scoring chance and Suarez decided to turn into prime Casillas. I don't think he's ever stepping a foot in Ghana. Emi Martinez is another guy that is hated by a whole country. This guy had every French person on the strings through his mind games. He had the best players from France having all the confidence of a chihuahua in front of him. You may think that that is the worst that South Americans have done. But no. Back in 1989, a guy named Roberto Rojas decided to take these dirty games on a whole new level. Chile were playing Brazil in a World Cup qualifiers match and they needed a win to qualify for the 1990 World Cup. After Chile went 1-0 down in the 60th minute, our main man Roberto Rojas decided to step up. Being a goalkeeper, he collapsed near his goalpost and for a moment, everyone thought that he was hit by one of the flares coming from Brazilian fans. The referee went to check on him and found that he was actually bleeding. Brazil were about to get disqualified until they realized that this Roberto Rojas guy had actually cut himself with a razor blade. A razor blade, bro. He had planned all these games with his manager to get Brazil disqualified.
That's why he's the GOAT!
Bro, how far are you willing to take these games? How far are you willing to take these games to a point where you injure yourself, man? It was a nice try, but Chile got disqualified. The other stereotype is that European players are tactically disciplined. European football and South American football is like petroleum and water. It's like Arsenal fans and River Plate fans. They are not the same. European players start their career in academies, while South American players start playing in the favelas and backyards owned by criminal cartels. A 5-year-old kid in the favela starts playing with some random 10-year-old kids and gets bullied until he learns the game, while a 5-year-old in Barcelona is being taught about the tiki-taka. So naturally, European players become tactically disciplined. A European player could have the worst technical ability, but he'll still play since he knows how to play in the system. A coach like Pep Guardiola can get the most flashy winger from the favelas, but he'll still play him on the bench since he doesn't play in a system. Come on, this guy literally saw the most exciting player since he couldn't fit in his system. The other stereotype is that strikers are selfish. Scoring goals is the hardest and the most important job in football. People see strikers start padding with tap-ins and think that they can replicate that. In real sense, you ask any guy from the stands to play as a striker for you, and it will be the worst thing that you've ever set your eyes on. Every football fan gets furious when they see their striker with a chance to pass, but they decide to shoot and miss. This is single-handedly the thing that makes millions of fans to crash out and lose it. But if you ask me, I don't think that strikers are necessarily selfish. Or at least, it depends with who your striker is. If your striker is the kind of guy that scores 2 goals in 31 matches, then I totally understand it. I will be fuming too if the guy that can score is refusing to pass it to his teammates. But if your striker is a bagsman, the guy who gets all the goals for you, the guy who always bails you out, the guy who scores 20 goals in 38 matches, then you don't have the right to always be yelling at him. Unfortunately, most of the time, it's the strikers who score goals that are usually selfish. Look at someone like Mo Salah at Liverpool. People always complain about how selfish he is, but surprise, surprise, this guy has scored more than 250 goals. To be fair, it's usually questionable when a striker doesn't pass to a guy with a better scoring opportunity. But you know what? That's football, man. That's football. The other stereotype is that black players are strong and athletic. There are 4 things that are assured in life: death, taxes, getting into a fight if you're dating an obnoxious ghetto girl, and black players being fast and strong. Black people have taken over every sport, from football to basketball to rugby to this other kind of rugby and to the ultimate Hunger Games. Even the most non-black sport like lawn tennis still has blacks in it. When you have a black winger on your team, you just know that nobody is going to outrun them on that wing. They might have all the footballing abilities of a headless chicken, but they will surely outrun everyone on that wing. When you have a black CDM on your team, you straight up know that some legs are getting broken in that midfield. You just know that medics from the opposing team will have more minutes on the pitch than prime Donny van de Beek. When you have a black goalkeeper on your team, you just know that. Anyway, never mind. We've been through this before. As black players, let's just stick to being wingers and defenders. Anything but a goalkeeper. So long as a black guy doesn't play as a goalkeeper for you, they'll be one of your best players on the pitch. And especially if he's playing for a team that lets him express himself. That's all I had for today. Tell me if you think that these stereotypes are true. Also tell me about more stereotypes that you know about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends, your mama, and that hot girl that will never be yours. See you in the next one.